Qatar, a small country with big ambitions. But behind the towering skyscrapers, billion-dollar investments, and global sports headlines, there's one man calling the shots, Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. He's not flashy. He doesn't seek the spotlight. But he's reshaped Qatar's image, survived a regional blockade, and pulled off one of the most controversial and ambitious World Cups in history. So who is Sheikh Tamim, really? What's his vision for Qatar? And how did he become one of the most influential and strategic leaders in the Middle East? This is the story of power, politics, and quiet dominance. This is Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. Qatar might be small, but under Tamim's leadership, it's played big on the world stage, whether through brokering peace talks, hosting global sporting events, or holding influence over global energy markets. What sets Tamim apart is his ability to balance tradition with modernization, a challenge many Gulf leaders face, but few navigators effectively. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at who he is, where he came from, how he rose to power, and what he's done with it. We'll look beyond the headlines and into the strategy, because Tamim isn't just a symbolic leader. He's a decision maker. And in a region full of strong personalities and high-stakes politics, he's making quiet moves that are reshaping the Gulf. Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani was born on June 3, 1980, in Doha, Qatar. He's the fourth son of Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, but not the first in line. So early on, it wasn't clear he'd be the one to rule. But as he grew, so did his role. He was educated at Sherborne School in the UK, and later at Sandhurst, the British Royal Military Academy. That experience, military discipline, British influence, global exposure, helped shape the modern leader he would become. In the early 2000s, Tamim began holding key positions within Qatar. He chaired the Qatar Investment Authority, oversaw sports and education initiatives, and began building his profile. His leadership style stood out, reserved, but effective. Unlike many royals in the region, he didn't seek the spotlight. He preferred results. All of this set the stage for 2013, when his father, Sheikh Hamad, surprised the region by stepping down and naming Tamim as his successor. At 33, Tamim became the youngest ruling monarch in the Arab world at the time. Many questioned whether he was ready. But Tamim didn't waste time. He had a vision, and he got to work. One of Tamim's biggest focuses has been building a modern, resilient Qatar. Since taking over, he's pushed hard on infrastructure. Billions were invested in transportation, like the Doha Metro and Hamad International Airport. He also made education a national priority, supporting institutions like Education City, which partners with top universities around the world. But the biggest project? The 2022 FIFA World Cup. Tamim saw this not just as a sporting event, but as a global rebranding opportunity. New stadiums, roads, hotels, Qatar went through a full transformation. The tournament put the country on the map, but it also drew criticism, especially about migrant worker conditions. In response, Tamim's government introduced reforms to improve labor laws, including abolishing the controversial kafala sponsorship system. He also emphasized sustainability and technology. Qatar has invested in renewable energy, smart city projects, and AI development. While critics argue that challenges remain, there's no denying the scale of the transformation. Under Tamim, Qatar isn't just keeping up with its Gulf neighbors. In many ways, it's setting the pace. His goal? A knowledge-based economy that's less dependent on gas exports and more grounded in innovation, culture, and global relevance. Tamim has carved out a unique role for Qatar on the global stage, that of the neutral negotiator. And it's not just talk. Under his leadership, Qatar has mediated in conflicts across the Middle East, from hosting the Taliban's political office and facilitating the US Taliban talks, to playing a key role in ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas. But perhaps the biggest diplomatic test came in 2017, when Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, and Egypt launched a blockade on Qatar, accusing it of supporting terrorism and growing too close to Iran. Many thought Qatar would fold under pressure. Instead, Tamim stood firm. He gave no public rebuttals, made no counter-attacks. He let diplomacy and economic resilience do the talking. Qatar quickly rerouted trade, developed self-sufficiency, and strengthened ties with Turkey and Iran. 4 years later, the blockade was lifted, with Qatar arguably stronger than before. Tamim has also kept Qatar deeply connected to Western powers, especially the US, where the Al Udeid airbase remains a key military asset. Through calculated diplomacy, Tamim has managed to make Qatar essential to everyone. That's no accident. That's strategy. Tamim keeps a low profile, but his image in Qatar is powerful. You'll see his portrait everywhere, on buildings, flags, even car windows. After the blockade began, a now iconic black and white sketch of his face with the word Tamim the Glorious became a national symbol of unity and pride. He rarely gives interviews, rarely speaks publicly, but when he does, it resonates. What makes Tamim different is his combination of caution and ambition. He doesn't move fast and loud like some leaders in the region. He moves deliberately. Whether it's owning stakes in global real estate through Qatar's sovereign wealth fund, or acquiring sports teams and media outlets, his influence goes far beyond the Gulf. At home, he walks a tightrope. Qatar is still a conservative society, and Tamim knows how to balance cultural values with progressive goals. He's introduced measured reforms, expanded women's rights in public life, and opened space for innovation, but always on his terms. His legacy is still in the making. But if there's one thing clear already, it's this: Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani has taken a small desert nation and made it impossible to ignore. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life and leadership of Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Got thoughts on Qatar's rise or Tamim's impact? Drop them in the comments, we read every one. And if you're into world leaders, power moves, and global politics that actually shape the headlines, subscribe for more videos just like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.